it is possible, you know, we get or the US gets a bad recession, and if the US gets a bad recession, it's a ripple effect, you know, so it's often global, but Australia certainly will be affected. So if we do get a bad recession, you know, at the heart, you know, Q3, Q4, or maybe next year, and Ethereum goes below that price, it's certainly possible we go below 1100. But you know, 2 years from now, are we going to be that price? Highly, highly doubt it. You know, so for me, it's an easy long-term investment, set and forget. Now that we've covered Bitcoin, we'll have a quick look at Ethereum. Now, this is just my personal high time frame chart. You guys know that I took profit here at 3,850. From where I took profit, we're down almost, well, not 70% quite yet, but what is it? We'll call it 60%. So 60% from where I took profit, and that's why it's so important that even if you're aiming for the moon, you got to take, you know, some profit halfway. You don't just put on a position, let it go to 60, 70% ROI and think that you're going to get 150. You know, you need to take profit off the table. I did that up here. That now allows me to buy a lot more Ethereum back down here, which I think is sort of the magnet, this area here, at anywhere between really 1100 to 1400. In my personal opinion, again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do, just telling you sort of what I see from my perspective for educational purposes and what I'm potentially looking at for my long time investments, my high time frame investments. So personally, I'll be adding some Ethereum to my long-term portfolio around the sort of, you know, the anything, like I said, from 1100 to 1400, I think is in a good accumulation range on Ethereum with a long-term horizon. So again, not telling you what to do, but that's sort of my one of my not too distant plays, given where we're at the market already, and we're already down 70% from where I took you know, took some bags off the table on Ethereum. So I also want to disclose that and make that official. I think I put it in the Discord anyway, but I want to, you know, make sure that you guys are can't say, well, I didn't tell you, you know. That's all. So thumbs up in the chat if you agree with that. Markets obviously can be overvalued and undervalued. It doesn't mean that that market is going to immediately bounce. So once you come down to 1100 or 1200 or 1300, it doesn't mean that you're just going to, you know, do something like this and you're going to come down, tag this and just go like that. That's not realistic. Okay, so you need to remember, when you're investing for a long-term horizon, then you need to be aware of that. And I also, for my higher time frame trades and my higher time frame investments, I don't like to put everything on the table at once. I'm just gonna quickly move this chart so I can watch it. Yeah, so I don't like to put everything on the table at once. So for example, if I was gonna, you know, buy Ethereum here, let's say I was gonna buy $500,000 worth of Ethereum. I'm not gonna buy $500,000 worth here. You know, I might buy 100K here. I might buy 100K here. I might buy, oops, and I might buy 100K here, you know, whatever it might be, and keep, if it goes down past that, well, then I can add more, or if it goes up, I can, you know, add on confirmation of a breakout and a change in trend. But this is just an example of how you would dollar cost average into a zone of interest. If you've got a target between 1,000 and 1,500 and you're happy to accumulate for, you know, a 3-4 year time horizon, even 2 years, this is, in my personal opinion, a good sort of range to be looking at. And, you know, like I put there on the screen, in 2018, Ethereum was 1450, okay? And yesterday it was 1450. And so a lot of people are obviously very fearful right now in the market. So the market's crashing, the global market's crashing, trillions of dollars, you know, getting wiped out of them. But when other people are fearful, that's when you need to be greedy. And that's just how the market works. It's how it's always worked. It's how it will continue to work. After every market crash, we always see all-time highs again. It's, you know, giving you exposure to the crypto is obviously more risky and more volatile to something like the S&P 500. But if you want crypto in your portfolio, I would stick to sort of the Bitcoin, Ethereums, and some really high market cap blue chip alts. But, you know, I always like to just stay heavy with the ones I know will succeed. And if they go down, they're going to go down less than some of those no-name alts that you've never heard of before and were made up last week. Anyway, that's all for the crypto market. XRP, I've already taken full profit on XRP. I think we ended up making about 500% or can't even remember. Maybe it was more, maybe it was less, something about that. But yeah.